Hello, I'm Zoe. This is my channel, Autistic Nana. Welcome. Today I am going to moan or whinge. So if you don't like moaning and whinging, don't bother to watch it. Goodbye. The reason I say I'm going to whinge is I discovered that I like to moan about things, okay? When I was 15, my uncle and auntie visited from Australia, and my uncle called me a whinging pom. And this confused me at the time because I thought, I didn't think I was whinging about anything. I thought I was just stating facts about things in general. But I mean, looking back, a 15-year-old girl is highly likely to whinge a lot. And as I got older, I thought, actually, I really do like to moan about stuff. So today I'm moaning about stuff. The first thing I'm going to moan about is this whole idea of the autistic spectrum being a line. So I'm not talking about the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this idea that there's a line, and at one end of the line you're not autistic, and at the other end of the line you are really autistic, and the whole population of the planet can appear on that line somewhere, which is utter nonsense. Because as we know, autistic people have different brain wiring. They have problems socializing and in social communication. They have problems with body language, eye contact, sensory sensitivities, all sorts. So you can't look at the spectrum and go, at one end, you are 0% autistic. And at the other end, you are 100% autistic. You can't put numbers on it like that. And you can't say, oh, I don't like loud noises. Oh, you must be a little bit autistic. Because that's really not how it works. And for years, this idea has been refuted. I mean, almost since it was brought into being, it was refuted by autistic people. And yet this is the vision that persists in the general public's mind. They think everyone can be a little bit autistic. And it's just so annoying for people that are autistic. I mean, it's not something I ever thought. I don't know where people get that idea from. I never thought it, but some people do think it, and I've had it said to me. And it's very misleading because you're either autistic or you're not. You either have all these struggles that are enough to impair your life to the degree that you get an autism diagnosis, or you are not autistic. So you can't say, oh, I hate strong smells, they make me feel sick. Oh, you must be a bit autistic. And this idea, which I think began with Mr. Simon Baron-Cohen, is just really unhelpful. It's probably one of the most unhelpful things there is. I mean, I know Simon Baron-Cohen did bring out the AQ test, the autism quotient, where they are actually looking for how many traits you have. And I've actually done that test. It was one of the first things that I did when I suspected that I might be autistic. And it actually did help me to pick up on things that I just thought were normal, everyday things that apparently can result in an autism diagnosis. So, I mean, yeah, it's not all bad. And I recently watched Simon Baron-Cohen be interviewed by Jordan Peterson, and he did a really good job of standing up for us poor autistic people and reining in Jordan Peterson when he was trying to be a bit mean, I thought. A bit mean. So, yeah. But unfortunately, this idea of a line persists, and I find it really annoying. And the next thing that I'm going to moan about is actually a part of being autistic itself, for me, my experience. And that is my inability to make phone calls and answer phone calls. It just really, really makes life hard, because if I've got to make a phone call, I just can't pick up my phone, dial the number, and then let it ring. It becomes this whole thing that I have to prepare myself for mentally and physically, and I can't be in the same room as another person for some reason. That makes it even more anxiety inducing. I have to be somewhere where it's completely quiet. I can't have loads of background noises that will distract me. It's really difficult to focus on what someone is saying in real time on a telephone call. And I really find it difficult to retain the information to the degree that I need to. So if someone phones me and that's just random out of the blue phone call, chances are I won't answer it because I've not prepared. I'm not in this place of quiet and I don't know what the call's going to be about, especially if I don't know who's phoning me. It's just an absolute nightmare. But if I've got to phone someone, say I need to phone and make an appointment, that's even more stressful, then it's just like a 2-minute job, but I can't do it. It's so awful. And it's just really annoying that I can't do that simple thing. Another simple thing I can't do is I can't just go to the shops. If I decide I've run out of bread and I need a loaf of bread, I can't just go, oh, I'm going to nip to the shop and get a loaf of bread. It becomes this whole thing. Do I drive? Do I walk? If I walk to the shop and just buy a loaf of bread and walk back, that's fine. But what if I walk to the shop and then decide there's some other things that I need, I don't know, milk or something heavy? Then I won't be able to carry it home because I've got a bad back. So then I have to go in the car. And I've got this real anxiety about driving. I can drive and I do have a car, but I hate it. I find it really anxiety inducing. So I can't just get in the car, drive to the shop. No, it's got to be this whole thing. I've got to get my seat perfect, got to get my mirrors perfect, got to get in the car, and then I've got to prepare myself to actually drive. So I've got to look all around, make sure there's no one else in view, make sure it's safe to pull out. And then I've got to go and park, and I have to park. And then when I sit in the car and I've parked, I'm like, okay, now I've got to get out of the car. I've got to go into the shop. And it's all things that should be on autopilot. I shouldn't have to think about these things. I should be able to just do it. But it's not. It's all this big thing. So then I get to the shop and I go in the shop and I'm efficient. I've got to just go straight to the place where the thing is and pick up the thing and put it in the trolley and then go and pay for it and get out. And I like to do the self-scanny thing so you don't have to talk to anyone. But if you get to the shop and they've rearranged all the shelves, then what am I supposed to do then? I'm not going to ask a member of staff where something is. I've got to walk around the whole shop and I've got a system. So I've got to do a systematic walk around the entire shop just to find the thing that I want. There was just one thing, one loaf of bread that I needed. Oh my God, why is it so difficult? It shouldn't be that difficult. Then you've got to deal with all the other people getting in your way and being really slow. Can't bloody stand that. And then the lights and the tannoy. And if someone talks over the tannoy, I can't understand a word they're saying. What if it was important? I don't know if it was important. I can't understand what they're saying. Why is it so stressful? Why is it so annoying? It shouldn't be so annoying. The thing that annoys me is how people react to my special interests. I mean, I've got a few special interests. But one of my main ones is tortoises. I absolutely love tortoises. And when people find out that I've got over 50 tortoises, then they either say something really annoying or they pull that face that means that they're judging me and they think I'm really weird. But I love tortoises. That doesn't mean anybody else has to love tortoises. I breed tortoises. I hatch their eggs. It gives me great pleasure. And I'm very knowledgeable about tortoises. I have lots of different species and I know all about their care and they have lots of different care requirements. Then I don't force that upon people. So if someone asks me maybe about what pets I've got or something, and then I mention the tortoises, I don't need judging. Just leave me alone. It makes me happy, and it doesn't affect your life in any way whatsoever if I have more than 50 tortoises. So please, just hold your judgment to yourself. You don't need to say anything, and I don't need to hear it, because they're my tortoises, not yours. They impact my life, not yours. But the executive dysfunction in the house with housework and jobs that need doing is pretty distressing because I can't just go and do the dishwasher. The dishwasher needs doing right now. It would take me less than 5 minutes to empty the dishwasher and refill it. But I can't just go and do that. It's really annoying. I procrastinate for ages. I know this can be an ADHD thing, and I do have autism and ADHD, but it can also be an autistic thing. So executive dysfunction is really annoying. There's always housework that needs doing. There's always shopping that needs doing. There's always clothes that need putting away. There's always a dishwasher that needs either filling or emptying. There's always washing in the machine that needs washing. There's always clothes hanging up drying somewhere that need putting away. There's piles of clean clothes that need putting in drawers. But the thought of actually opening those drawers and trying to find space in those drawers is just beyond irritating. So the fact that I can't just do things is really frustrating. And it really annoys me. And now I know that's because I'm autistic and ADHD. So it's sort of kind of an excuse, but really doesn't help, does it? Because it still doesn't get the things done. I won't randomly start a conversation with someone, but if someone speaks to me, obviously I'll speak back to them. But what I've always thought and what I've always said to my husband, why don't people say what they mean? That always frustrated me, and I never knew why people, I don't know, beat around the bush, didn't get to the point, don't say the whole point of a conversation. They just do meaningless small talk or something, or just hint. And it's just so annoying. Why can't people just say what they mean? Life would be so much easier. Communication would be so much easier if people told you what they actually meant. Another thing I struggle with is people's expectations of me. I first noticed this when I went to my secondary school, which is a school in the UK you go to from the age of 12 to 18. It was an all-girls school, which didn't help. I struggle with girls in general, just how they behave. Don't understand any of it at all. They'd all be obsessed with hair and makeup and boys and bands, and I wasn't interested in any of that. And because I have communication difficulties and can't start conversations and struggle with group conversation, I just decided not to get involved in it, not to speak to anyone really. But then people perceived me as a snob. They thought I was too stuck up to speak to them, when in effect I felt like I had nothing in common with them, didn't really want to have anything in common with them. I was happy to be me and not try and bend myself to fit in with whatever it was the flavour of the week. So I got judged and picked on, and again, I'm not affecting you, so just leave me alone. I don't understand why not wanting to fit in is a problem. Why can't people either accept you for who you are or just leave you alone? Why'd you have to be judged for it? It's really annoying. Something else that really annoys me, that sort of leads off of that, is I have never wanted to drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes or take drugs. And just because other people did those things, I didn't feel the need to. Alcohol stinks. Cigarettes stink. And drugs make you lose control of your own brain. Why would I want to do any of that? And the amount of times throughout my life where people have been at a gathering somewhere and offered me an alcoholic drink, and I've said, I don't drink. And then I get judged for that. What? Not even wine? That has been said to me on numerous occasions, and that is really irritating. No, wine is an alcoholic drink. I do not drink alcohol. Therefore, I do not want wine either. In fact, in my entire life, I have never been drunk. I have never been drugged, apart from when I was unconscious in hospital for 2 operations in my life. But, I would never willingly want to lose control of my faculties. I like to be in control. And, goodness knows what would happen to you if you were drugged or drunk or whatever. And I couldn't even bear the thought of that. It's ridiculous to me. So, no, I don't even drink wine. I have to apologise for all the moaning. I think I've just had a bad week. Earlier on in the week, I lost my Minecraft world, and it really upset me. My iPad crashed, Minecraft wouldn't load, so I had to delete it and start again. And I thought that my game would be saved. But no, they don't save the games. So I'd spent hours and hours and hours creating this brilliant complex. Brilliant, I loved it. It even had a Roman bar. But I've lost all of that work, and there is absolutely nothing Minecraft can do about it. They don't back up individual worlds unless you pay to have your own realm. So now I've been conned into having to buy my own realm, and I've had to start my own world all over again. And that's really annoyed me. And that's probably why I'm in a really, really moany mood this week. So I can only apologise to you all, but feel free to turn off at any point. You don't have to listen to me moaning. Another thing I hate is when I'm at home in my safe place. Maybe I'm recording a video like this, and then someone randomly rings the doorbell and I'm expected to stop what I'm doing and go and answer the door. And my dogs will bark like crazy until I actually go and check that there's not a murderer at the door, which is really annoying. They won't actually stop barking until I've responded to the doorbell. I don't know if this is to do with pathological demand avoidance. I know I hate people making me do things. The worst thing is when I'm doing something and then my husband tells me to do the thing that I'm already doing, and then it is so difficult not to rebel and stop doing the thing that I was already doing because my husband just told me to do the thing that I was already doing. But because he's now told me to do it, it's a demand. So it's really, really hard to carry on just doing it. So yeah, being at home in my safe space and having someone ring the doorbell and make me go and do something is really annoying. This is actually the end of the video. I think I've finished moaning for one day. It's probably enough for one day, isn't it? If you've actually made it to the end of this video, I mean, my God, you deserve a medal. Well done. I don't actually have a medal, but you deserve a medal. Thank you. If you want to watch another one of my videos where I'm not moaning, I mean, I'll still look miserable because I always look miserable, but I might not be moaning as much as I've moaned today. Then you might need that to counteract the effect of the moaning in general. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.